Okay, this next video is going to show you how you start to create your columns for your optical illusion. The first thing that we're going to do is establish the middle line, which is going to be curvy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put one nice kind of wavy line right through the center of my piece. Now, what you do not want to do is create a line that's like this. Okay, that is not what you want to do. All right, you want some, this is going to create way more work than what you need to do for this project, okay? So just kind of create one line, just kind of establish a nice curvy line, and it can look different than mine. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. Then within this line, I want you to put 5 little tick marks on this line, starting just kind of eyeball the middle of your composition. So I'm going to start with one there, okay? And then I'm going to have 2 marks on this side. I'm going to have 2 marks someplace on this side. And again, you can kind of eyeball this. You can make it further apart, maybe closer to this edge here. I'll put another one here and here. Okay, so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little tick marks. These are going to indicate the sides of your column. So wherever you draw the lines that are going to form your columns are going to go through these little tick marks on this horizon line. So I'm going to start up here from the top with my first column, bring my line down here, okay? I might start way over here, come over here, bring that line down like so. Maybe this one I start over here, come through that tick mark. Maybe this one I'm going to start even closer that way. And I'm going to show you a trick if you happen to cross your lines anywhere in your composition here. So I'm going to do that in one place so that I can show you how to draw your rings. So let's see here. I'm going to go through here and cross there. So now I have one set of lines that's crossed. You don't have to do that, but I'm drawing this just so that I can show you how to approach the rings on that. Okay? So after you have drawn your columns, and you want to make sure you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns now. Okay, that's how many you need, because you're going to need 2 for your graphite, 2 for your pen and ink, and 2 for your colored pencils. Okay? Any more than that, you're kind of creating some more work for yourself. So the next step is to start with your rings, and we're going to work on the rings for our columns on the top first. Okay, if you do both the bottom and the top at the same time, it gets a little hard visually on your eyes. So do the top first. So we're going to start on this side, and we're going to imagine that these rings go from point to point. So I'm going to put a little dot here and a little dot here, and I'm going to draw up the side of the column, around, and go back down to that dot. Now that first one's not going to be difficult. Where students kind of get hung up is when they don't bring those rings all the way back to that dot. Okay? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start at the dot. I'm going to go up the side, arc around, and then make this line appear as if it's going back to that dot. I'm going to keep going up the column. So it looks like it's going back to the dot. Okay. This is very important. If you do not do that, this is what you end up getting. So if we're going to pretend like this is our column here. If you do this, you will not create the illusion of form. Okay? If you do this, you also will not create the illusion of form. Okay? You must make these rings appear as if they're going from one point to the next. And the way I accomplish that is I kind of travel up the column, over, and then back down the side of the column. Remember, each one of these columns you're going to want to look like is 3-dimensional. You want it to look like it has form. So this line that you're creating, this ring, is the first step in establishing that. Now you can draw off the border. That is totally fine. I'm going to go up, Back down, I might add one more here. Right there. You also want to avoid having your rings too close together. So, you know, somebody might have 2 or 3 rings in there. You kind of want them to be about a ½ inch-ish apart. When you begin to fill these rings in with value, you're going to approach them, the value, one ring at a time. So I'm going to start here and work here. So you don't want so many of them. Okay, and then I'm going to work all the way across, making this look like it's going back up. And if you have to go all the way back down to those points, then you do. And this might take some of you a little bit to do. Don't push too hard with your pencil. If you need to go back and erase, you can. I'm going to do this last one. It's good to watch these videos all the way through. Hopefully you're still with me. Okay. Now once I'm done with the top, I'm going to turn it over. It's just going to visually make more sense if you just do the top half and the bottom half. Now I'm going to go to this column right here because this is an example of where those 2 lines crossed. Okay. So once again, you're going to do the same thing you did down here. You're going to start with these 2 lines. Okay, I'll go ahead and start with this column. I'm going to start my arc. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Still going point to point. This is going to follow this here and kind of come down here. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. Now stick with me here because I'm going to show you how to approach this space. Okay, so those rings go in that direction. Now where it's crossed, they're going to come from these points here. Like so. Okay. Now what that's going to do is it's going to make this column appear as if it's going back into space and then reappearing. But you won't see that until you start adding your value. Okay. And then you are going to finish the rest of your columns all the way across. And now you are all set to begin adding value to your optical illusion. I hope all that made sense.